Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I am Murad Agriculture, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agriculture Studies, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Let's go for today's online lecture. Chapter 2, Section 2. This is the fourth lecture of this section. Previously, we discussed details about the soil erosion, soil preservation, then conservation as well. Today, from this lecture, we will able to understand the minimum water requirement of capacity for a crop, then details about the system of rice intensification, which is SRI method, minimum water requirements of crop. So how can we understand that what will be the minimum water requirement of a specific crops? Basically, the demand of crop what is made different from different sources. That means the crop, whatever the need the water, that will be we mitigate with the some specific source like irrigation water, then effective rainfall, stored water in the soil. So it can be determined or calculate with the one formula which is called WR equal to IR plus ER plus S, where we can find that WR equal to water requirement, then IR equal to irrigation requirement, and then ER equal to effective rainfall, and S equal to soil water. That means different crops have different type of requirement of crop. For instance, if you give an example like wheat, then mustard, then potato, these all crops water requirement is different type of we know that wheat the lifetime is 100 to 120 days, and then after 20 to 25 later of seed transplant, at that time the water is requirement is more. So this type of requirement is depends on the crop to crop. Next, system of rice intensification, which is the elaboration is SRI method. This is the modern method of rice cultivation. So we will discuss about this. First of all, you have to understand that what is the method is SRI. This is very important for your creative and MCQ as well. So it's a method, modern techniques of rice cultivation, where rice and are cultivated intensively and where maximum production is achieved from limited investment. And and these techniques invented by a scientist is from Madagascar, Father Henry Lolani in 1980, and it is a low water, labor intensive, and cost effective method of rice cultivation. So what will be the characteristics of SRI method? In this method, well, less agriculture input is required, so that production cost will be less as well. More care is achieved in here. Less production time, there's less labor required. Young age seedlings can transplant in this method. Then organic fertilizer applied in this method. Alternate wetting and drying in irrigation system apply in this section in this method. Seedling is planted in a square shape, then use weeding machine for remove the weed, then environmental friendly, and one seedling is planted per hill. This one is very the summary of this SRI method is production cost less, labor cost less, but production is more. So what will be the characteristics of SRI? If you have a look this picture, this is the plant, then you can find out what is the characteristics like higher grain yield from this here, then increase effective tillers, then higher open hill structure, more effect leaves, then delayed sensation, then higher nutrient uptake from the land. So this is all about the characteristics of this SRI method from a crop or rice plant. Next one is benefits of SRI. What will be the benefits of SRI? If you have a look here, you can see higher yield. So when you get higher yield, that means more income from this higher yield. And then a large and better grains. When it's large and better grains, definitely higher farm get price higher. They get higher price as well. And then increase resource efficiency. Then 90%, 95% reduce uses of seed, 50% uses of water, reduced water, then 100% reduced uses of agrochemicals as well. And then improve plant growth. When the plant growth is improved, that time what will be happen? Improve cropping capacity as well, for like drought resilience, pest resilience, disease resilient, and improve root system as well, and improve root soil quality as well. So this is the benefit of cultivating in a system of rice identification method of rice production in SRI system. So now I will discuss about how in this method we can produce the rice. Age of seedling. So what will be the seedling age in this method? The seedling age should be 7 to 10 days in is planted. That means when the seedlings age is from seed bed, we have to collect after 7 to 10 days, where reduce the time as well. As a result, seedling remain strong, don't die, and paddy ripens before 10 to 15 days of water stagnating method. And in this method, less irrigation and fertilizer required, because the seedling is uprooted from 7 to 10 days. Then less chance of attack of insect and disease as well, becomes easy to prepare for next crop as well. That is why time saves here, cost saves here, and prepare easy to prepare for next season as well. Next one is distance of plantation. What will be the distance of plantation? Planted in square design, keeping 35 to 40 centimeter distance between row the plant to plant. That means plant the seedlings plant in the main field is square shape, and the shape should be like depends like 35 to 40 centimeter, or might be 30 or 40 centimeter. So there will be no other distance between plant to plant and row to row. That means is square shape. And remember, one seedlings plant in a hill or in a bundle, whereas in local or traditional method we plant 3 to 4 seedlings. Here you see they reduce the seedling costing as well. As a result, plant get more nutrients, light and air, more water is produced, which result in more production, less fertilizer and less seed as well. Application of fertilizer. In this method, biofertilizer or organic fertilizer is applied rather than use the chemical fertilizer. Scientists say that do not try to apply chemical fertilizer, try to apply biofertilizer or organic fertilizer, because this is environment friendly and less production cost as well, and soil productivity will be developed where chemical and biological components are less is applied. That is why that will be fertility will be increased, and longevity of soil fertility, increase of inorganic activities and production, control of the soil acidity is possible. So when you apply chemical fertilizer, that time the leftover of chemical fertilizer produce the toxic substance in the land, where the biofertilizer and organic fertilizer do not produce any toxic substance in the land. Weeding. In this method, use Japanese rice weeder for removing the weed, and when we use machines or Japanese rice weeder, that time that will mixed with the soil and decompose it and make the organic fertilizer. And then nutrient management and irrigation. For better rice production, huge amount of nutrients is required for soil. The best way to increase soil nutrient is applying biofertilizer or organic fertilizer. I told you again, try to apply always biofertilizer or organic fertilizer, because when we apply chemical fertilizer, Sometimes the leftover of chemical fertilizer are make toxic substance in the soil, which is very harmful for soil. And then in this method, alternative wetting and drying method, that means AWD method, used for irrigation, we will talk you later in this lecture. So if you have a look the picture here and the other one is here, this is the rice field where you can observe the SRI method. Here one seedling per hill, that is why it looks like very thin and in square shape as well. And here this man using a Japanese rice weeder for removing the weed, where you can see the weed mixed with the clay soil and decomposed here and produce the organic fertilizer. Now I will talk about the alternate wetting and drying method. This one is a little bit tricky, so you have to listen and watch carefully. Alternate wetting and drying is water saving technology that lowland rice farmers can apply to reduce their water used in irrigation fields. In AWD, irrigation water is applied to flood the field a certain number of days after the disappearance of the ponded water. Hence, the field is alternatively flooded and non-flooded. The number of days of non-flood soil in AWD between irrigation can vary from 1 day to more than 10 days depending on the soil types. That means in alternative wetting and drying method, you do not need to apply water more and more flooded in every day or couple of days later. When the water first apply, that will be drying, then you apply again. But in local method or traditional method, what we do, always apply the water, irrigation water, where you can see the soil always water is stagnant condition, but that will reduce the, or that will increase the production cost, which is not helpful. So that is why scientists invented this method, alternate wetting and drying. When the soil or on the land needed the water, that time we have to apply the water. To implement alternate wetting and draining method of rice field flooding, need a table of 30 centimeter length and a measuring tape to measure water depth. So making the field water tube. So how you doing this? You have to make a tube which will be plastic pipe or bamboo, and the pipe size will be 30 centimeter, and the diameter of that pipe is 7 to 10 meter, and drill the and the there will be some hole around the pipe, and that will be 0.5 centimeter each. And if you have a look here, the pipe, I'll show you here. uh, if you see here, this is the 30 centimeter pipe, this is the soil surface, and 10 centimeter will be upper side of the soil, and the bottom lower part 20 centimeter will be underneath the soil. You can see here, and 10 centimeter there will be no hole, but here the bottom part here will be the hole, which is 0.5 centimeter, and after 2 centimeter. You can see the color picture here as well. This is the soil surface, this is the bottom part 10 centimeter, and this is the 20 centimeter underneath the soil, and the diameter will be 7 to 10 centimeter. Here is the hole, and you can see when you put the water flooded, you have to put up to this, and the upper surface of the soil, above the soil surface, which is 5 centimeter. And when the water goes down after 15 centimeter, because we know this pipe is 20 centimeter, when you see water level 15 centimeter below soil surface, that time you have to apply again the water. That is called, this method is called alternate wetting and drying. So how can you measure this one? Because this pipe has no water, soil inside, so you can observe easily underneath here. You can measure this with the help of tape, then you can apply the water. So placing the tube, so where you should place the tube? You should place the tube in a flat place, in the randomly about 4 or 5 in the land, at least you have to remember that not less than 1 meter away. That means after every 1 meter you have to put the tube till 10 centimeter depth. Then preparing alternate wetting and drying. So how to prepare this one? You have to fill this one, monitor the depth of ponded water on the every 2 days later. You have to monitor that one. If the water go down after 15 centimeter, then you can and apply water again, which one I show you before. And AWD can be started a few days after installation. That means after uh, transplanting the seedlings a few days later, that means 2 to 3 weeks later, you can establish the AWD pipe in the land. So local fertilizer recommendation of for flood rice can be used. Apply nitrogen fertilizer prevalently on the dry soil just before flying. Remember that when you apply any water, do not apply any type of fertilizer before or applying the water. You have to apply the fertilizer. And after flowering during rain filling and deepening, the water level can drop again to 15 centimeter below the surface before flooding. This is called safe AWD. So water savings may be up to 15 to 25% with no penalty, but the depth of water can be allowed to drop from 15 to 20 centimeter or even 25 centimeter below the surface. You have to remember this one. So if you have a look, the first picture here, this is the rice plant, this is the water pipe. The top portion is 10 centimeter and the bottom is 20 centimeter, and here you have to apply the water 5 centimeter above the soil surface. But when in this pipe, inside the pipe, you have to remove the water from the pipe because you can see the water level underneath the pipe. So when you see that the water goes down this 15 centimeter, that means 15 centimeter below the soil surface, that means the root zone is nearly finished, because when you know that the plant uptake the nutrient or water with the help of root system. So you see, this is the root zone. That means the root zone after 15 centimeter nearly finished. So when the 15 centimeter below the water is goes down, that time you have to apply the water again. And you can as you can see the same picture but details again. Now this is the plant wetting regime. That means this is the pipe 30 centimeter below the soil surface, 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter above the soil surface, and the water is above the soil surface up to 5 centimeter. And here this is the wetting time. And when you see drying time, that time the water goes down after 15 centimeter below the soil surface. So you have to apply water in this time. So this is the called alternate wetting and drying. But in local method, what we did, always apply the water till 5 centimeter, because if you the water goes down here, no need to apply water again, because that time that is wastage of money, nothing else. You can say this is the field of rice field. This is the rice field, and rice field you have to fill up, establish the AWD pipe like this. That means this is below 20 centimeter. This one goes down the land, as you can see, and this one on the top. So this is what about the pipe established in the land, and you can measure the pipe. If it is below soil surface 15 centimeter, then you can apply the water. And you can see this is the real picture, colorful picture of the land. That means measuring the water. Again here as well, this is the scenario of the main land, how you establish the pipe in the land. And now the difference between SRI and traditional method of rice cultivation. This is the main difference. As you see, this is the plant which we planted in the non-traditional method. Here you see the plant is very the panicle is not too much, but here the lots of pinnacle, that means the tiller is more and grain is more as well. This is the main difference. Now, as you can see, this is the difference. I try to draw for your attention what is the difference between traditional method and SRI method, because why the farmer changed the traditional method to SRI method. You can, if you see this difference, you can understand easily. First one is importance is not given to low seed bed and air movement, but here cultivation is done in a high place and where air movement is good. Here the age seedling age is 40 to 50, but here 7 to 10 days, where you see they save the time here. Here, 3 to 4 seedlings are planted in one hill, but here one seedling is planted per hill. That means the seedling cost save here as well. No shape or design is maintained for planting the seedlings, but here seedling is planted in square shape. The difference between seedling to seedling is 10 to 15 centimeter, and plant to plant is 20 to 25 centimeters. But here all side is same, that means is square shape. If you do not apply the square shape, that time you will not use machine in the land. So if the line is all side is same, that time you can use Japanese rice weeder or machine. More seed needed, because you see here 3 to 4 seed per hill, that is why more seed needed, but here less seed needed. Again, irrigation is given in flooded method where costing is more, because always land is need to flooded only before the 2 weeks of ripening stage. But here you can see from the beginning of the cultivation, irrigation given in AWD method, where you already seen that you do not need to apply more water. When they need, that time you have to apply. Here chemical fertilizer is used, but here organic and biofertilizer is used, which is environment friendly. Weeding is done by hand, which is this is need more labor and the weed thrown away. But here weeding is done by machine, where do not need more labor. Labor cost is less, and the weed decomposed with the soil, and then it will make the organic fertilizer. More time is needed for rice production, but less time is needed for rice production. More methane gas is released, because maximum time soil is water is stagnant condition, but here no not too much water, that is why less methane gas is released. And eventually and at last I can say that this one is not environment friendly, and this one is environment friendly. So this is all about today's lecture. You can see, you can get this type of MCQ question from this lecture, which is what is the formula minimum water requirements of crop, which is WR equal to IR plus ER plus S, where you can see WR equal to water requirement, IR equals to IR means irrigation requirement, ER means effective rainfall, and S means soil water. And you can creative question, you can get explain the AWD method, and you can get net for 3 and 4 marks. My dear students, thank you very much for watching today's online lecture. If you got any problem, contact your subject teacher. They must help you, and stay safe and stay home. Thank you very much.